Welcome to this explainer. Look, we all love crisp autumn weather, right? But while those brilliant red and gold leaves look amazing up in the trees, the second they hit the ground, we're looking at a massive, hidden risk to your property. We're talking about severe storm drain blockages. When autumn rains wash those fallen leaves off your driveway and straight into the local drains, it kicks off a disastrous chain reaction that most folks just don't see coming until, well, it's way too late.
Here's our quick roadmap for today. We're going to cover exactly how leaves block drains, the true cost of fall yard flooding, a proactive care checklist, some smart alternatives to dumping leaves, and finally, what you need to do if you're caught in an active storm. Let's jump right into Section 1, how leaves actually block drains. You know, it really doesn't even take a torrential downpour to flood a yard. It all comes down to something called the squeegee effect. This perfectly captures how leaves instantly transform from light, harmless debris into an absolute watertight seal. When dry leaves get washed toward a catch basin, the water pressure literally compresses them right up against the metal grate. As that pressure builds, the wet leaves form this incredibly dense, hydrophobic layer. It acts exactly like a solid rubber mat, so instead of water flowing freely into the drain where it belongs, it just rolls right over the top. Immediate flooding in your turf, your garden beds, your patios. It's a sudden, physical barrier created entirely by nature. But hey, the problem definitely doesn't stop at the surface. The leaves that actually manage to slip past that grate, they don't just wash away harmlessly. Once they get down into your subterranean pipes, decaying leaves mix with soil, silt, and everyday lawn detritus. And in just a matter of weeks, this mixture ferments into a thick, tar-like organic sludge. It's pretty nasty stuff. This sludge physically coats the pipe walls, completely choking off the inner diameter of your drainage system. Basically, it acts like clogged arteries for your entire yard, leading to super slow drainage across the whole property.
And that brings us to the third failure mechanism, catch basin overload. Now, most residential systems rely on these underground boxes to trap debris while letting the clear water flow out. But when leaves pack tightly into a basin, they completely fill up that bottom sump area. Once that happens, there's nowhere else for the debris to go. It gets forced directly into the outlet pipes, causing a total 100% system backup.
Which leads us to Section 2, the true cost of fall yard flooding.
So, what does this all mean? Well, we're talking about a much bigger problem than just some annoying puddles in the grass. Blocked drains can lead to unbelievable financial and structural costs. Think cracked basement walls and totally ruined driveways. See, when standing water pools up near your home's foundation, it drastically increases hydrostatic pressure. That immense weight literally forces water right through the microcracks in your basement concrete. And out in the yard, prolonged standing water in the cold totally smothers your grass, causing root rot and nasty winter mold. Plus, if that trapped water seeps under your pavers or your asphalt driveway, a late fall freeze will turn it into solid ice. The ground heaves, the concrete cracks, and suddenly you're looking at a highly destructive, wildly expensive chain of events.
All right, let's look at how to stop this in Section 3, our proactive fall drain care checklist.
To keep your properties safe, we've got a clear, proactive strategy you can start using today. The main things you need to do are clear your drain grates, bag leaves promptly, and clean out those catch basins twice a season. You really need to clear the grates weekly or honestly daily during peak leaf drop. This removes surface dams before rain can compress them into that impenetrable mat we just talked about. Raking and bagging weekly is absolutely crucial too, because it stops the wind from just blowing loose piles straight into your low-lying drains. And for sure, you've got to get in there and clean out those underground catch basins twice a fall. That keeps the sumps on totally clear and stops leaves from washing further down the line. Continuing with the checklist, you're going to want to install fine mesh drain guards just once before autumn hits. These things are a real game changer because they catch the tiny leaf fragments and pine needles that easily slip through regular, coarse metal grates. And finally, keep an eye on the street. Make sure the municipal street gutters stay clear as needed so that the curbside runoff actually has a path. The last thing you want is the city's stormwater overflowing and spilling right onto your own lawn.
Moving on to Section 4, smart alternatives to dumping leaves.
Okay, first rule, never ever blow or sweep your leaves into ditches or street gutters. Instead, just run a mulching mower over them. This literally turns a severe flood hazard into instant, nutrient-rich fertilizer for your grass. When you mulch leaves directly into the lawn, you chop them up into tiny little flecks. Because they're so small, they decompose incredibly fast. They organically feed your soil without ever posing a risk to your drains. It's a total win-win.
You can also toss those leaves into a compost bin to create some amazing organic humus for your spring flower beds.
Or, if you want to protect your landscaping, try using whole or shredded leaves as natural insulation. Just spread them right around the base of your sensitive perennials and shrubs. It perfectly protects their vulnerable root systems right before those early, harsh winter freezes set in.
Finally, Section 5. What to do during an active storm. So what happens if you get caught off guard during a sudden heavy downpour and you see water actively pooling? Well, follow this 3-step protocol closely. Step 1 is absolute safety. Never ever reach into deep or rapidly flowing stormwater with your bare hands. There could be sharp glass, hidden debris, or even trapped animals in there. No way. Step 2, stand safely on dry ground and use a rigid garden rake to pull that wet, heavy leaf mat away from the grate. And Step 3, make sure you clear the outfall. Check the discharge end of your pipe, like the pop-up emitter or ditch, just to make absolutely sure the leaves haven't formed a secondary plug on the way out.
The absolute best part about this, the moment you use your rake to break that squeegee effect seal, gravity instantly takes over and rescues your yard. By just sliding that solid mat of leaves off the metal grate, the trapped water that was threatening your foundation will violently and rapidly rush down the drain. It is incredibly satisfying to see, and it instantly relieves all that hydrostatic pressure pressing against your home.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to think about this. If a heavy autumn storm hit tonight, are your property's storm drains truly ready to handle the deluge? Take a walk around your property today. Make sure you aren't leaving your home's foundation at the absolute mercy of a single fallen leaf. Are your grates clear, or is there a hidden tar-like sludge just waiting to back up the whole shebang the second it rains? A tiny bit of preparation today will literally save you thousands of dollars in repairs this winter. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and stay dry out there.